Okay guys, hi. This is my second time trying to record this video. I recorded a video where I tried to do a review of the first three ACOTAR books, and it turned out way too negative that I did not want to put it on my channel because even though this series does have problems, I understand why a lot of people enjoy it and why a lot of people like it. And I don't want anyone to not pick it up just because I didn't like it. Because it is it's a fine series. It's not one of my favorites, but I mean, if everything was my favorite, then nothing really is a favorite. So instead, I'm going to do a tier ranking, and I'm just going to talk generally about each book. If you don't know what A Court of Thorns and Roses is it is a 5-book series where the first 3 books follow a young girl named Feyre, and it's her journeys as a human girl in fairyland. The second 2 books, one of them is like a little novella that bridges the gap, and then the 5th book is about a different character in their journeys in fairyland. Before we get into all that, let's go ahead and tier rank these. Now, these are not in order. Let me put these in order. Can you go over there? Thank you. Okay, there we go. That's in order. My tier lists are in order of boring. That's just it's not my taste. It's a fine book. It's just boring. Underneath it would be if I really did not like a book. But none of these books fall in that category, so I left it at boring. And then okay, which is it wasn't boring, but it wasn't excellent, so it's just okay. And then good could probably just be condensed into just the same one. Delete row. And then we have excellent, meaning that it was a good book. And then we have the most esteemed position, which is book hangover material. Very, very few books give me a book hangover. I generally read a lot of books that I enjoy, but not a lot give me a hangover. And so that is the best of the best, which would be up there. So let's begin. A Court of Thorns and Roses, which if I do put up that video, you can watch that video. That book is basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which was not... It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling that did not add a lot to the Beauty and the Beast trope or anything. It was very basic, very generic. I've even read another book where it was about a human girl who falls in love with a fairy prince who turns into a beast, and she has to fall in love with the beast. I didn't think it added anything new to it, which is a shame because Beauty and the Beast was my favorite Disney film growing up, which is sad, but it's okay. I will say that about a third of the book into it, the plot completely changes. And I do like the last third of the book where the plot has changed and it's more about the political intrigue and the fighting the bad guys and all that, which is what I actually look for in books. I'm not generally a romance reader unless it has something to do with the political intrigue and the world building and the magic system. That's what I go for in books. So I would put A Court of Thorns and Roses in boring just because it was very boring up until the last third of the book. And even then, I don't think the last third of the book justifies how boring the first 2/3 were. I'm sorry, that's going to offend so many people. A Court of Mist and Fury was actually a fine book. It wasn't boring. It was okay. I don't know if it was excellent. I definitely liked the twist on the Hades and Persephone trope. I thought that was done very well. I had my problems with Tamlin even in book 1, which I did feel like, though, in book 2, it was kind of a little bit out of left field how bad Tamlin was. But it's okay. They had to make Rhysand look better after all the horrible things that he did under the mountain to Feyre. So they couldn't... she had to ruin Tamlin's character a little bit in order for us all to attach to Rhysand. I did not attach to him. I was waiting the entire series for him to be evil. It wasn't until Frost and Starlight, when we went into his head, that I realized, okay, maybe he's not actually going to be evil. But I was just waiting the whole time for him to turn around and be like, haha. This is when I wish I kept my good in. It's the very top of good, bottom of excellent. No, it's not even excellent. It's in good. I'm going to change that to good. Okay, it was good. I understand why a lot of people like it. Like I said, I'm just not in it for the romance. So that's why I have to put it in good. A Court of Wings and Ruin. That one, I think, was better than Mist and Fury. What I liked about Wings and Ruin was, again, that political intrigue, the war. I actually really liked Cassian and Nesta in that book. I think that them in that book is much, much better than them in A Court of Silver Flames. I think that if Nesta's character hadn't been ruined in Frost and Starlight, I would have really liked to see that version of Nesta and Cassian together. I think that version of them would be unstoppable. I still have problems. I think more people should have died. I think Amwyn definitely should have died at the end of that book. I think that could have been what propels Nesta into her drunken whatever it was at the beginning of Silver Flames. Because if she considers Amwyn her only friend, and then Amwyn dies, and then Rhysand and Feyre, and everyone is just annoying her all the time. I don't know. I think that would have been a lot better than them getting into a fight. But it's okay. Whatever. I didn't write the books. It was good. It was a good book. Wings and Ruin and Mist and Fury are both kind of near the same to me. They're good. They're good. Let's go on to Frost and Starlight. Frost and Starlight is a book that does not belong on any one of these lists. Add a row. Ew, I did too. And it belongs in the trash. I hated this book so much. At the end of Wings and Ruin, I was actually starting to like Rhysand, and then Frost and Starlight made me hate him so much. I hated him. I hated what they did to Nesta. I hated Feyre's whole I don't know what to get Rhysand for Christmas thing. I don't know what's worse, Azriel's deleted chapter or this whole book. Okay, Silver Flames. I say Silver Flames and Mist and Fury and Wings of Ruin. Just put them all in the same one. They're all pretty good. I definitely think that Silver Flames could have used a lot less of the horniness and a lot more of the Valkyries. I think it was kind of dumb how they won the raid, because that makes no sense at all. They've been training for months compared to people who have been training for years, their entire life. There is no way that they could have won. One thing that I do not like about a lot of fantasy books is when they make like new characters be the best at something. Like better people that have been studying for like 10 weeks are better than people who have spent their entire lives studying for things. I just don't like that at all because it is so unrealistic. Like, unless they have a magical power that no one else has, which granted Nesta does have, but she wasn't using it, it just doesn't make sense that they are just so much better than everyone else. It makes no sense. I would have liked to see them explore Nesta's trauma more. I would have liked it if the whole mate thing hadn't just been thrown out in the wind. I think that could have been like a plot point where Nesta comes to accept that she is a fairy. I think it would have been better if after their fight we got a lot of Nesta's inner turmoil where she lets go of her human side and accepts that she is now a fairy and that is part of her life as a fairy, is having a mate. And I think Cassian should have also understood that, she's still like grappling with not being human anymore and kind of give her a breather. Cassian was not a good boyfriend in that book. These books are fine books. I understand why a lot of people like them. I do. They're just not for me. I'm just not a romance reader, I guess. That's my take on all 5 ACOTAR books. Let me know in the comments what you like and didn't like about these books.